Hey my friends, Greg Denny here. Have you ever been tempted to blame your circumstances for the outcomes and results in your life? Man, I know I have. In fact, I was even tempted for half a second not to make a video because I still have a little adventure left here on my face. I took a branch in the face really hard when we were playing an epic game of Capture the Flag while I was leading a backpacking trip recently in North Carolina, which is amazing. If you've not been in the national forests outside of Asheville in North Carolina, you've got to go, especially fall colors right now. It was unreal. Anyways, it's tempting, right? It's super tempting to blame your circumstances because they feel so real and they often make us feel so trapped. And we feel like we're just cuffed, right? And we're slaves to our circumstances. And I know that for me, I did this a lot. I was blaming my circumstances early on, like, well, it was just the way things are. There's nothing I can do about my circumstances. And what I later realized and learned, and now teach all the time, is whenever we blame our circumstances, we literally take our power to change our lives and improve our lives, and we give it away. And we don't give it away to somebody that can do something about it. We just give it away and it's gone. So I want to offer two things that you can do, and that I do all the time, to stop blaming your circumstances and take back control of your life. Number one. Well, actually, I'm going to offer three things. Number one, the mindset. We've got to see circumstances as the wind. So you see the wind blowing behind me. The wind just blows. It blows on everybody, the rich and the poor, the ignorant, the educated. I mean, it's just the wind of circumstances that blow on everybody. And you and I, with our heart set and our mindset, we get to choose how we set our sails to use the wind. I'm going to share a poem by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. She wrote, "One ship drives east and another drives west with the self-same wind that blows. 'Tis the set of the sail and not the gale that determines which way it goes." Right? Then she continues, "As the winds of the sea are the ways of fate, as we voyage along through life, 'tis the set of the soul that decides its goal and not the calm or the strife." I love that idea. The wind is going to blow. The wind of circumstance is going to come. We get to choose which way we go because we can set the sails to use the wind in our favor or to our detriment. So that's number one. The mindset that circumstance just comes to everybody. How are we going to use it? Our ability, right? And I love this. Our responsibility to how quickly and how responsibly we respond to circumstance is going to make a gigantic difference. It'll be the major difference in our life versus what actually happens in the circumstances. So it's how I respond. Number two. Think about and research and read about and learn about great men and women who have faced similar circumstances to you and who have come out triumphantly. Find those people, study their lives, learn what they did, and go for it. This is one of the biggest things that helped me in my life. When I was out on my own struggling as a young man, I got my hands on a book called The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom, and then Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and then many, many more. And I've read all kinds of biographies and autobiographies and learned about the lives of great men and women who faced like unbelievable circumstances that made my tough circumstances look easy. It gave me tons of perspective, tons of hope, and tons of ideas of how to handle it. You can look at what they did. So from the narrative of life of Frederick Douglass to the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin to on and on and on. Great men and women throughout history who have faced really difficult circumstances. And please understand this and believe this. If they can do it, then so can you. That is so powerful. And it literally gives you back your power. So you stop blaming the circumstances and start asking the third point now, this question. And you guys, it's such a simple question, but it's so powerful. So please, get it ingrained in your heart and soul and in your mind of how can you do this? And here's the question. Well, what can I do about it? That's it right there. Any circumstance come along. You say, well, what can I do about it? So for example, you might be tempted to say, as many people are, well, I'll never be able to do that, I don't have the money. And that's blaming the circumstance. So you could ask, well, what could I do about it? How could I earn the money? That one question starts to activate our minds. And when you give your mind a question, it goes to work. And then it'll work and work and work through those things. You can write them down. It might come up while you're taking a shower, out on a run, or it might come in the middle of the night and you wake up and write it down. Your mind's going to get activated, and your subconscious mind, it's going to start going so you can find the answers. And literally, it's that simple. Well, what could I do? So for example, I'm leading a trip to Mount Kilimanjaro in a year from now. And you might look at that and go, oh, it's a big exotic trip to Africa with a safari and a mountain. Oh, I'm not in good enough shape. I'll never be able to. Let's blame the circumstances. I don't have the money. I won't be able to go. Let's blame the circumstances. Right? So you could just ask, well, what would I need to do to get in enough shape to go climb a big mountain? And how could I earn the money? What could I do? Right? You might be in a difficult spot in your marriage right now. And instead of saying, well, that's just the way our marriage is, or that's the way all marriage is, right? Or that's the way my spouse is, and he's always been like this, or she's always been like that. Stop, catch yourself and say, well, what could I do? What if I were 5 or 10 times better at listening or communicating or influencing? What if I were 10 times better at influencing? Wow, right? What could I do? Maybe you're struggling with one of your children in parenting, or maybe the area you live in. I mean, we can go on and on. Maybe it's a health struggle you're having. Maybe it's the work. You don't like your work. You're not very good at your work, or you don't like the people you work with. And instead of just saying, well, that's the circumstances, it's unfair, it's unjust, I don't like it, that's the way they are, that's the way life is, instead of just acquiescing and handing over your power, say, well, what could I do? And your initial response might be, well, I've already tried, and I've tried all. We often say, I've tried everything and it doesn't work. Everything? You've tried everything? Catch yourself and say, well, what could I do? What could I do better? What could I do longer? How can I change my circumstances? And I've been able to completely transform my life and get into totally different circumstances, and then sometimes even create my circumstances. George Bernard Shaw one time said, he said, the men and women who get on in this life are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they cannot find them, they make them. Right? Whoa, so much power. And we take back that control, and we can even make circumstances. So again, it's our ability, our response ability, how we respond to our circumstances that makes the biggest difference. So number one, have the mindset that circumstances are like the wind, and we can use circumstances to go one way or the other. It's up to us. Number two, look for, read about, study, find, get near, talk to people, interview, get around people who've had similar circumstances to you and still overcame them. And number three, ask yourself, well, what could I do? And get your mind activated to come up with solutions and then take action on those things. And you guys, you can transform your life, take back your power, and create the kind of life you want to live, you deserve to live. Now, if you want help with this, and you want like a real personalized, customized answers and help to see this, go to gregdenning.com, sign up for a coaching session. Let's dive in. This is what I do every day. It's awesome, and I love it. We can dive into your personal situation and circumstances and ask those questions and share some examples and come up with ideas, as I've worked with hundreds and thousands of people all around the world to come up with ways to solve their problems, overcome their circumstances, and reach their potential and go after the life they want. So love you guys, totally possible. Awesome's always an option. Reach upward.